Hi Luxury Home Show, I'm Hannah Hampton and welcome to my townhouse in London. Come on in. So we purchased the property in 2018. I first came to see it in 2017 when my youngest was 3 months old, and I knew it was the one straight away. It was such a chunky sized house. It was really, really good in proportions. It needed a lot of work. It was quite in a poor state, but we were up for a renovation, so that didn't put us off. And when we purchased it in 2018, we lived in here for a short period, and then during that process, we did all the planning permissions and figured out what we wanted to do with the property and the designs, all the party rule agreements, all the fun things that come with a London property. And then when we had all that sorted, we moved out and then the renovations begun. Wandsworth is pretty special because you've got Wandsworth Common, which luckily for us we have right on our doorstep, but you've also got places like Battersea Park, Richmond Park, you've got the river, just over the river, and then you're into Chelsea and Fulham. Really lovely areas, so you're quite quickly into town. In fact, there's Wandsworth Common train station, which is like maybe an 8-minute journey and you're straight into Victoria, so it's a brilliant location. But come this way and I'll take you into the kitchen first. When we bought the property, this was the kitchen already, but we wanted to make it a little bit larger for us and make it into a great space that we can enjoy as a family. So we extended the kitchen out by about 3 metres this way. The original kitchen stopped by the structural column, but that's just given us a lovely extra space for us. The kitchen run originally in the kitchen before, it was a galley kitchen, so it was similar layout to this, and it had like an old-fashioned lean-to extension on the side here. So we got rid of that. We wanted to maximise the ceiling heights and get rid of the lean-to and have a flat ceiling and modernise it essentially, and put in this roof light. And it's quite a unique roof light because it extends all the way along the kitchen and actually wraps around the corner, and it's about 10 metres long in total. But what it enables you to do as well is when you look up, you can see the whole height of the property behind you. When we were designing the kitchen right from the beginning, we knew we wanted a kind of semi-industrial feel to it, but a soft semi-industrial feel. We didn't want it to feel too harsh. And that's why we decided to have the exposed column here and then the exposed beams underneath the roof light. And even above the roof light, just here, we've got the brick, which continues down, and it continues down internally, so it looks really harmonious. So we did that. We had crittle doors as well installed. And another thing we did, which I absolutely love, is installed polished concrete. It's brilliant. It's so forgiving for a family of 5, that is. And I think the reason that it works so well is that there's very minimal grout lines. There's a few expansion lines that they install, but because we had the crittle doors, which have obviously got a lot going on in their framing and the design, we wanted to make sure that there was no grout lines in the polished concrete in the flooring. So that's why polished concrete just worked brilliantly in this space. When we started the design of the kitchen, which is, let's face it, the main room of the house, isn't it, that everyone comes to, and what with the polished concrete, I thought it was lovely to introduce natural materials. I really wanted a marble shelf, so we made sure that we had this as part of the design, and this is a lovely floating shelf. And also it enables lots of light to kind of bounce around. It doesn't look too heavy with wall lights being up there, and you get to style it really nicely, which is always fun. And then we have this brilliant marble island. So we wanted a long island. This is about 3.6 metres long. We've got the hob on the island. Actually, I'm definitely a hob on the island person as opposed to the sink. I like the sink being slightly set back so that it's you don't get to see all the dishes on the island. I like a nice clear island. We've got the marble on the ends and the waterfall ends, and I really wanted it to look like a nice block. We've actually got these doors here, so whilst it looks like the marble's continuing, these are actually doors, so you can hide all sorts of things in here, and we're using the space for storage. And this, by the way, is Monty. He's our very cute little cavapoo. He's a little superstar. And then we have this seating area here, which is brilliant. We've got a gas burner, which is so lovely at Christmas time. We've got a little coffee table and a sofa, and Monty's kind of adopted this as his bed. But this is a really nice area for us to all get together and sit and enjoy. So to make the gas burner a little bit more special and elevate it slightly, we actually put it on a plinth. So I designed a plinth which is going to be poured in concrete, as you can see, and it mirrors the curves of the gas burner, so it curves around beautifully on the floor, and it just adds a little notion to, or at least elevates the design in that area, and it's just really special. So when we renovated, we really made sure that we had allocated some budget for the garden. We actually got Shelley Hugh-Jones in to design the garden for us, and we love this space so much. So she was really good at making sure there were focal points. So this Alamanca here is the focal point from when we open the kitchen balcony doors, or even when they're closed, and you can see that view from the kitchen alley run. It is just beautiful. It has a wonderful blossom on it. We sit out here quite a lot in the summer months as a family. It's a brilliant little sofa area, and it's so close to the kitchen, and then behind us over there we have a barbecue and a seating area so we can have some alfresco dining. What we also have, which you may have noticed, we've got some pebbles, the pebble stonings, which is like a little border design that's going through the patio here. But we've also got them on the inside as the edge of the polished concrete before the crystal doors. So they talk to each other, and we've got like inside and out, which is a really nice touch. So it feels very considered. We've also got, on that note, the metal railings here. So in the light well down to the basement, we've got metal railings, and that again is very similar to what we've got inside the kitchen where we've got the metal railings. So it's again a little nod to the industrial feel, but it's got that gentle repetition, which I think is so nice when you're designing a house. Back inside in the kitchen, one of the things that we did when we designed the house was make sure that the staircase was part of the kitchen and not in the hallway. And we did that because we really wanted the basement, the lower ground floor, to feel connected to the whole of the rest of the property, rather than being accessed from a separate staircase within the hallway, where it may have felt a little bit more disconnected. So we did that here, and whilst we were designing this whole staircase area, we wanted it to feel quite special and not just a staircase. So it's a staircase which actually wraps around, loops back, and we have these metal railings which mirror the ones that are outside. But we also put in an internal glazing section, and we did that for a number of reasons. A, to make this whole area feel quite special, but also so that the natural light pulls through everywhere. So the natural light that we're getting from the roof light above in the kitchen and from the crystal doors pulls through into the front area of the property, which is especially in that middle reception room, which is typically a dark area within one of these Victorian Edwardian houses. In here we have the Snug, which is mostly the children's Snug, where they watch TV and they have their toys all stored away. But we also have our front room, and whilst they are two different zoned areas, they're obviously one connected space, but I feel that they work really well together. In this section we have really dark blue on the walls. This is Sanderson indigo blue. And we have this sofa from sofa.com, which is incredibly comfortable. One of the best sofas according to my husband, he loves it. And this was not colour match, but I found a colour that worked really well with the blue on the walls, so that it's almost very simplistic in its design and merges in. The same with the joinery over here. The joinery is also a really dark blue. It's the same colour as the walls, and we did that so that it's just continuous and it's really simple. And the reason we did that was because we had quite a lot going on in the front room. It's much more ornate, it's much more designed. And so while these two rooms are very different, they work well together, I think, because of that. So in this room here, this is our front room. This is my grown-up space. I love this room so much. We have a Victorian marble fireplace. We actually did this so that the chimney breast, it's the original chimney breast, but we narrowed it slightly so it wasn't quite so deep, so it didn't project so much into the room. So the actual chimney breast is only about 160 deep, so it makes it feel a bit more spacious. The fireplace is brilliant, we love that. And then above the fireplace, we've got this amazing picture, which is from Maisie Broadhead. It's actually a photograph, but what we loved about it, it was quite classic, but it had this modern twist of the pearls necklace coming down out of the painting or the picture, and so that they can sit really lovely on the mantelpiece here. So whilst we renovated entirely and pretty much rebuilt the home, we wanted to reinstate some of the period features. So we put this cornice in this front room along with the ceiling rose, and it's really ornate, it's really beautiful, it's really striking, and again it's very different and much more ornate than the one that we've got in the Snug, which is much more simple. So again, it allows those rooms to have a difference between them, but again sit really well together. So here within our hallway, we've got this immediate section, this like little lobby area that when you walk in, we actually pinched a bit of space from the front room to make it wider, so that because this is such a high traffic area, we thought this would be a better use of the space of the hallway than necessarily a front room, which we only use really occasionally. The tiles in here are really lovely. They're from Original Style. They are quite traditional, but they've got a little modern nod to them. And there's a lovely border that goes around the edge, which I really like. And up here we have this brilliant lantern, which is from Visual Comfort. And we actually positioned one here, but also within the next section of the hallway, so that when you walk in, it kind of carries your eye down and through into the garden by having this repetition of design in the lantern. So here we have a brilliant area. We use it obviously every day. We've got 5 shoe drawers because 5 members of the family, so everyone has their own shoe drawer. We have a cloak section for hanging up coats. These are little antique brass hooks from Jim Lawrence. They're absolutely gorgeous, love those. And then we have extra cupboards here, and then we utilise the space up here too with cupboards, because the ceiling height here is actually about 3.4 metres, so it's really tall. But we do love this space, it's brilliant. It tidies away all of your shoes so you don't have them all out and about on the floor. So this is our media room, and as I said before, we designed this so that it came straight off the kitchen and you didn't enter into a corridor when you were coming down the staircase from the ground floor. One of the great things about this basement as well, by not having a corridor at the end of your stairs, is that you benefit from the natural light that's coming down. So in our case, we've got our kitchen roof light, as you saw, and all that light is coming down and flooding this staircase, so it brings the light into this basement media room. So here we have the media room joinery, which obviously houses the TV. And when the doors are closed, you've got the open shelves either side. So if we're entertaining down here and we're not watching TV and we're just hosting some drinks, we can have it like this. But obviously when we want to watch the TV, we just push open these doors. And there's the TV. So my husband really likes punk music, and one of the agreements when we did the media room was that he was going to have some of his favourite records framed and put up on the wall. So we got them framed in the same colour as the walls, so it's really nice and discreet and lets them stand out. And this is Sanderson Night Fishing. It's a really lovely rich navy blue. So coming through into here, this is our study, our home office. And I work in here quite a bit, as does my husband actually, and it's brilliant because you don't feel like you're in a lower ground floor. You feel like you're surrounded by lots of lovely natural light, which we have thanks to the roof light above, which is from the garden, so we're actually under the garden here, and then from the crystal doors. So we've got crystal doors again here, and then just from the media room, which are obviously in the same design and style as the ones that we've got on the ground floor. And this leads out into a little courtyard, a little light well, which leads you up steps into the garden. So when you're sitting here, you've got a view of this area, which is really nice and lovely and natural. And then when you're looking this way, you see the media room steps, which are just such a beautiful architectural feature. So I'll take you into the other part of the basement, the front section. But actually, before I do, the staircase here, it's pretty unique, I think, because what we did is we had the builders cast the staircase in concrete first, and we actually left the stringer open and exposed. So you can actually see the original concrete that actually makes up the staircase. We clad it then in oak cladding, and we wrapped a little trim around the edge so that you don't see the join of the oak treads against the concrete. We've also got these metal railings, which are similar to the ones we've got upstairs, so it's just obviously all following down. And under here, because we've got this staircase, we've actually got an amazing amount of storage, which is hidden behind these panel sections, and this is how it opens, so it's quite clever. And we've got lights under there, which is great, and we can also access it from another door just here. And then over in this bit, we've got what looks like a wall. We've actually got lots of lovely storage here too. And this is where I store a lot of the samples from when I'm using for client projects and for work. And there's just brilliant storage, and it's so tall. So leading through here, we've got double doors here, which always makes for like a grand entrance, which is always nice when you can and you've got the space. Here we have our guest loo. We've got a beautiful checkerboard marble tiled floor and a marble basin which we have commissioned. Taps from Studio Ore, which are really beautiful and antique unlacquered brass. And the paint in there, I'm often asked what it is, and it's from Zoffany Taylor's Grey. It's a great paint and it works brilliantly with the checkerboard floor. So up here we have our gym, a little home gym. When we did the designs originally, this was going to be our utility room, but actually because of COVID, which happened when we were halfway through the build, we changed this to a home gym because we wanted to be able to use space. Having been in lockdown for so long, we wanted somewhere to exercise. And I'm so pleased we did, because we use it pretty much every day without fail. And it's very small, but very functional. And then in here we have our utility room. So it's very small, but it's everything that we need. So we've got another stacked washing machine and tumble dryer, as well as the one upstairs. But we use that a lot because we're a family of 5, and so there's always things that need to be washed. We've managed to fit in a under-counter fridge here. We've got a little sink. We've got lots of storage here for mops and hoovers. And then we also have this little clothes rack which pulls out, which is just brilliant. It's small, but it's functional, it's perfect. And that's our utility room. Here we have a guest bedroom with an ensuite, but now we're going to go up and see the main bedrooms. So coming up here, we're on the first floor, and this is the children's floor. It was actually really handy having all the children's bedrooms in one space with their bathroom. Made bedtime much, much easier when they were younger. And this is my youngest room right here. So all of the girls' rooms have got a similar kind of setup going on. We've got wardrobe, desk, and some open shelving for baskets and toys, little art creations that they have. This particular one is in Farrinball setting plaster, which is a lovely soft pink, and it works really well with the James White, also Farrinball, which is on the walls. I love the fact that Monty's found himself in the tent. So what we did when we did this room is for Ottilie, because she was so young and cute and wanted this room to feel quite cute, we kept the original fireplace, which to be fair I would have done anyway because I love period features. But what we did is stripped it back and repainted it in lime white, which is also Farrinball, which works with the James White. And then for the hearth we found these tiles from Fired Earth, which have just got a really lovely soft gentle blue pattern on them. And in here we have the girls' bathroom. They really wanted a nice gentle soft pink bathroom, so we chose these tiles from Mandarin Stone and laid them in a metro pattern. But to be honest, the best thing about this bathroom is the fact that we managed to squeeze in a little mini laundry setup. So we've got a tumble dryer and a washing machine stacked, and it's perfect. So that whilst we've got the utility room downstairs, we're able to do so much washing up here, particularly for clothes and bedding, which you don't have to then go up and down the house floor. So this is Sophia's room. She's 13 now. And as I said in the last room, we have a desk and joinery set up of the open shelves, the desk and the wardrobes. But her personality is really bright and bubbly and bold, so we wanted to go quite bright on the colours. And we've got Stiff Key Blue from Farrinball, Rangwali and Hay from Farrinball, and they work brilliantly together, especially with the Rapture and Right blind that we've got up here, that pattern, that crazy wiggle pattern. This is a light pink and a green, and it works really well with this room. And now we're going to go through to Amelie's room, and she's my middle daughter. So this room would originally have been the master bedroom, the primary bedroom, but we are now upstairs. We've got a whole floor upstairs. So my daughter's in here. And because of that, we wanted to honour the grand status that it was as the primary bedroom. So we put in lots of lovely period features again. So we put in a beautiful cornice, quite an ornate cornice in this bedroom. And we put in a really lovely ceiling rose, which is complemented by this beautiful feather pendant that we've got as well. We've got a similar setup again, as I've already said. We've got the wardrobe, we've got the desk, and then instead of a tall stack of open shelving, we've actually got some shelving that we carved into the old original fireplace, and we put this timber surround on it. When we first started doing the schemes for this room, one of the first things we found was this really cute, gorgeous wallpaper, which is obviously educational as well as lovely. So we pulled out the colour palettes within this wallpaper, and you can see them around the room. So we've got the denims actually here from Farrow & Ball, which we've got on this bench. We've got the soft gentle blue, which is a fabric from peony and sage, on the bench as the bench cushion. And the blind and the curtains are also actually from peony and sage, which is the stars and stripes fabric, and it's really nice and soft, and it works brilliantly with the wallpaper. Obviously we've got this doll's house here, which I wouldn't have as choice, but Emily absolutely loves it, and that's the main thing. So this is the start of our master suite, where we've taken the whole floor, which is incredible that we were able to do that. The ceiling actually was originally really low, almost where you can see the crease of the line where the ceiling started. It was actually our architect's idea, and he said, why don't you vault it? So we managed to really increase the ceiling height, which just makes it feel so airy and spacious. So one of the first pieces that we chose for this bedroom when we started designing it, something that I've always loved, a piece of furniture I've always loved, were these Chelsea textile bedside tables. They're so lovely, and I love this handle detail that we've got on them. So we got the bespoke headboard made. This is actually a tinsmith's fabric, but I just really like the gentle, calming tones to it and the small motif. And I just thought as a headboard, it would actually look really lovely. And then we've got a mixture of cushions here. We've got these from Soho Home. These two we got made bespoke. This is an Ian Mankin fabric, this is Fermoy. And then this here is a cushion from Love Your Home with a Tobias and Coral fabric. So for the window dressing here, we've got full length curtains. We hung the pole slightly higher, so it makes the curtains and the whole window look taller. And this is in a Fermoy fabric, it's their plain linen, and we've got a trim here from Samuel & Son. So we're coming in now into the dressing room, and we fitted carpet in here because we thought it'd be softer in a dressing room, whereas we've got wooden floors with a rug in the bedroom area. And this is a really nice open space. It's really spacious as a dressing room. It's really light because we've got light coming through from this angle, but also from the bathroom. We've got a bench cushion here, with a little bench, which is just a really nice little seating area. And then we've got the two main runs of joinery. Now I've got this section, which is closed off because I didn't want it all on display and open, and I wanted a full length mirror. And then over this side, this is my husband's side, and he wanted a mix of open shelving and racks, but also some drawers as well. So we come up here into the bathroom, and we've got the split level because this was actually a bedroom originally with its own ensuite, but we took the whole space and made it our bathroom. We were able to vault the ceiling in here too. So when we were renovating, we were originally just going to have it just so that it was above where the window is. But when we started stripping everything back, we saw this huge potential to actually have the ceiling vaulted, and so pleased we did because it makes the bath underneath even more striking. So on this side of the bathroom, we have a dresser here, which is great. So lots of drawers, lots of storage, beautiful marble top, a lovely mirror also painted in the dark Zoffany ink paint that you can see, and two wall lights flanked either side of the mirror, which are great for reflecting light on your face. Then here we have a WC, which is hidden behind this glazed privacy door, also in the same Zoffany paint, the ink paint. And then we have our vanity with Vaughan design mirrors and wall lights from original BTC with the same marble, lovely Carrara marble. And then through here we have the double shower. We have two beautiful antique brass curved exposed showers from Drummond's, and they're really pretty and they look lovely against the marble mosaics. And then we do have one more floor where it's simply a guest bedroom and an ensuite, and it has again a huge amount of light coming through because we've actually got a Juliet balcony within the room, the bedroom, and it's really sweet. Thanks Luxury Home Show, that's it from me and the tour. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to know more from me, I'm sure my account details will be below the video from Instagram. And that's all. Thank you so much, bye-bye.
Hi Luxury Home Show, I'm Leanne of Good Bones, and welcome to my townhouse in London. So now we're in the entrance hall of our Victorian terraced house. It's a townhouse, and we're going to go into the kitchen, so come with me.